Welcome back to the Deep Dive.
Yeah.
Today we are plunging deep into a really complex urban fantasy reality. It's got these three sisters. One's a half-Fae werewolf, one's a witch, and one's a vampire. And they run this seemingly cozy Seattle bookstore.
Right. But that bookstore, it's basically doubling as a defense line against, well, that demonic incursion.
Exactly.
So, yeah, the high-level view is these D'Artigo sisters, Delilah, Camille, and Menolly, and they're suddenly facing this massive existential threat, an interdimensional conflict, really.
Right.
It all kicks off when what seems like a routine local murder case just completely unravels.
Right, into potentially a full-blown war footing.
Precisely.
So our mission today is to unpack that escalation. How do these three unique supernatural operatives go from being sort of bureaucratic agents to suddenly being the main defense against a demon lord? And what's the cost? Personally, politically.
Yeah.
Because their power seems to ramp up really fast.
Well, the D'Artigos are fascinating mainly because of their background, their lineage. They're half-Fae. And that's key because it makes their magic wild, unpredictable, sometimes erratic. Delilah, who's our narrator for this, she's the half-Fae werewolf, shifts into this beautiful but kind of chaotic golden tabby cat. Then there's Camille, the witch. Very powerful, but also often unstable.
And Menolly.
Menolly's the vampire.
Yeah.
She's described as petite, but really intense.
And this half-breed status, that's like central to who they are, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. It defines them. Their Fae relatives actually call them windwalkers.
Windwalkers, what does that imply?
That's sensitive.
Yeah.
It suggests they're rootless wanderers, that their unstable magic is just inherently inferior.
Okay, so in a rigid world like the Fae Otherworld, being unpredictable is usually bad news.
Generally, yeah, a huge liability. But what's interesting here, what the sources suggest, is they might actually be using that instability, leveraging it.
How so?
Well, they exist outside the normal rules, and that lets them adapt, react in ways that maybe the more established Fae royalty just can't.
Interesting. Okay, so they operate out of this bookstore, the Indigo Crescent, in Bells Fair, Seattle.
Yep, that's the front. For the Otherworld Intelligence Agency, the OIA, or, well, what was the OIA?
We'll get to that. But the base itself might seem mundane, but their support staff, not so much.
Definitely not.
Yeah.
You have to mention Iris. She's the house sprite, and she's absolutely indispensable.
Right. Hearth magic.
Master of hearth magic. She basically runs the magical infrastructure of the place, manages the protective wards, which are crucial, and yeah, handles the logistical challenges.
Like what?
Well, you've got Camille's spell fallout, which can be messy. Delilah's cat form leaves litter around. And Menolly has her blood room that needs sanitizing.
Okay, yeah. Specific needs.
Exactly. Iris is kind of the anchor that lets their chaotic lives actually function.
Speaking of chaos, their love lives sound pretty complicated too.
Oh, they are. Camille the witch, she's in this really complex triangle.
With who?
Trillian, who's a Spartan, that's a dark elf. And also Morio, who's a Yukai Kitsune. Basically, a powerful fox demon or nature spirit.
Wow. How does it work?
With tension.
Yeah.
The sources describe the two lovers as having this sort of high testosterone, cautious truce, and it's all centered around Camille.
So her relationships aren't just personal, they're potentially political alliances too.
Exactly. The stakes are immediately higher. And then there's Delilah. She's dating Chase, who's a human detective.
Okay, bridging the worlds there.
Right, but the sources really emphasize this growing attraction she feels towards their new client, Zachary.
The client. Mixing personal and professional. Always tricky.
Always. And it's his client, Zachary Leoness, who really drops the main crisis onto their doorstep.
Okay, let's unpack that investigation. Zachary's a werepuma from the Rainier Puma Pride.
Yep. And he hires the sisters because members of his clan are being murdered, systematically, brutally.
The sources said the bodies were found destroyed in a bizarre fashion. What does that mean?
We get details later, but the critical flag, the thing that screams supernatural, isn't just the violence, it's that the victims, their hearts are missing.
Oof, okay. Missing hearts.
That's the breadcrumb. That's what leads this case out of just being a local clan war and towards hell, basically.
So who's behind it?
The investigation points pretty quickly to the Hunter's Moon clan.
Hunter's Moon clan, they're different.
Very different. The key distinction is they are unnatural wares. Not born, but made. They're werespiders.
Werespiders. Okay, that sounds bad.
It is. They're described as dark, treacherous. They draw power from this ancient evil shaman named Kyoka.
And what makes them such a threat? What are their tactics?
Well, think specialized spiders. They use actual hobo spiders as magical spies, as sentinels.
Creepy.
And their killing method is gruesome. Their venom paralyzes the victim first, then it liquefies their internal tissues,
Oh, God.
allowing the werespiders to essentially suck them dry. That explains the destroyed bodies. They're also resistant to moon magic, which is a big deal for fighting other wares.
Okay, that's horrifying. But the missing hearts, that's something else entirely, right?
Exactly. That elevates the threat because that detail connects these local werespider murders directly to a powerful demon lord named Shadowwing.
How?
The Hunter's Moon Clan. They're allied with one of Shadowwing's elite units, a Degath Squad. Think of them as Hell Scouts.
Hell Scouts.
Okay.
Right.
And this squad, it includes a really vicious Janshi demon. That's the muscle, and it's the one demanding the hearts.
As an offering.
As an offering to Shadowwing, yeah. The squad also has a Spartan turncoat in it, a dark elf named Lionel. So this isn't just some random clan feud anymore. It's ritualistic harvesting for a demon lord.
Right. This is way bigger than they thought.
Much bigger. They realize this isn't just local revenge. It's like a strategic demonic operation.
So what do? Who do they turn to?
They need high-level intel. They managed to consult the Autumn Lord.
The elemental lord of autumn and spiders. Makes
Wow.
sense with the werespiders involved.
Exactly. And he reveals the true, terrifying scope of what's going on.
What is it? What's the bigger picture?
It's about history. Apparently, Shadowwing found Kyoka, that ancient shaman who created the werespiders like 1,000 years ago down in the subterranean realms.
Okay.
Shadowwing resurrected him, gave him a new werebody, and tasked him with rallying his old clan, the werespiders,
Oh, why? What's the ultimate goal?
to find something specific. The second spirit seal.
A spirit seal. What does that do?
The sources imply it's incredibly powerful, likely a key component in some larger magical structure or defense, something Shadowwing desperately wants.
Oh, the Puma Pride murders.
Mm-hmm.
That was all just a distraction. Or a means to an end.
Pretty much. Kyoka needed to destabilize the Puma clan, maybe find out who their shaman was because they were unknowingly guarding this seal. It was all a targeted operation to locate it.
Wow. Okay, so the stakes just keep climbing.
Absolutely. And right when things reach this critical point, their safety net vanishes.
What happens?
They get really bad news from Otherworld, from the Fae realm, the OIA, their agency. It's gone. Disbanded.
Completely.
Full-blown civil war has broken out back in the Fae world. Between two rival queens, Lethesnar and Tanacor, the OIA just got liquidated in the chaos.
So the sisters, they're on their own.
Instantly, they become independent agents overnight. No funding, no backup, no intel feeds, no official protection.
And probably a target now, right? If there's a civil war.
Exactly. The sources mention they effectively have a bounty on their heads back in Otherworld. So yeah, they go from secret government agents to totally isolated fugitives.
While trying to stop Demon Lord's plan in Seattle. That's high pressure.
Understatement of the year.
Yeah.
And this isolation, it immediately forces them into making really costly deals just for basic information.
Like what?
Well, just to get that audience with the Autumn Lord, they need serious magical help to open a path. They contact Smokey the Dragon.
A dragon? Okay.
Yeah.
Dragons usually want something big in return.
They do, and Smokey demands a staggering price for opening that magical gate.
Which is?
Camille, the oldest sister of the witch. She has to agree to become his consort, basically his concubine, for 1 week.
Wow. She agrees.
She agrees.
How do the sources frame that? I mean, is that level of sacrifice just expected, or does it show how desperate they are?
It definitely highlights the desperation. The sources emphasize how serious the choice is. Smokey apparently promises to be, honorable and protective during that time, but still.
It's a huge loss of agency.
Absolutely. It's a non-negotiable trade. Her power, her autonomy, exchanged for survival intelligence. The fact that Camille, who's such a powerhouse herself, has to make that trade really shows they had zero political leverage left at that moment.
And Delilah also pays a price for meeting the Autumn Lord.
Right.
A personal one.
A huge one. During their meeting, he takes her hands. She feels this terrifying shock described as fire and ice flowing through her. And then she's marked.
Marked how?
She's branded as a death maiden. A shimmering black scythe appears on her forehead.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It identifies her as bound to him, the elemental lord of autumn and spiders. Her service is promised to him when she dies.
Bound by fire and ice. That sounds elemental. Powerful.
It does. It suggests this maybe a dual nature, some kind of deep elemental bond. He even tells her she'll smell autumn whenever she looks in a mirror because he's now her final destination.
That is chilling. A terrifying kind of leverage he has over her now.
For sure. But they get the intel they need. They find out where the werespiders have their nest. It's near Snoqualmie Falls, accessible via something called a Golden Road.
And they launch a raid.
They do. With their allies, including Zachary and his remaining Pride members.
And is the raid successful?
It is. Critically, they find Venus the Moonchild. He's the Puma Pride shaman.
Alive.
Alive, yeah, but he's been horribly tortured. But he's the one who reveals the location of the second spirit seal.
Where was it?
This is incredible. It wasn't just hidden by him. It was hidden in him.
What?
The spirit seal, this fire opal cabochon, it had been surgically hidden inside Venus's own limp leg years ago.
No way.
Yeah. Passed down through the shaman line that way since it was originally given to an ancestor named Einar the Iron Hand centuries back. Hidden in plain sight inside the Guardian himself.
That's an amazing secret. So they get the seal.
They manage to retrieve it, yes, and they also defeat the Degath Squad, the demons, and Kyoka, the ancient shaman. So Shadowwing's immediate plan is stopped.
They're not without cost, I imagine.
No, they lose people. Notably Rhonda, who was a tough Puma guard, and also Zachary's ex-fiancée. She dies in the fighting.
Rough. So after the battle, what do they do with the seal and the demon bodies?
They deliver both the seal and the demon corpses to a representative of Queen Asteria, one of the Fae queens currently fighting the Civil War. An elf named Treneth picks them up.
Okay, so that's a big step. That delivery kind of cements their new role, doesn't it?
Absolutely. That's their official transition. They've gone from being basically rogue agents just trying to survive in Seattle to actively taking a side and participating in this huge interdimensional war. They're not fringe anymore. They're suddenly key players, key assets for Queen Asteria's side.
And meanwhile, Delilah is still dealing with the fallout from that encounter with the Autumn Lord, the marking.
Yeah, and this is where things get really interesting for her personally. It's maybe the biggest shift in the source material for her character arc.
How so?
After being marked, she starts suffering these intense convulsions, physically really violent reactions.
Okay.
But crucially, during one of these episodes, in a dream state, she manifests a different werewolf form, not her usual golden tabby.
What does she become?
A Black Panther.
A Black Panther, entirely different.
Completely different, distinctly more powerful, more dangerous feeling.
What does that mean? Is it a mutation or something else?
The sources actually hint at something stranger. The possibility that maybe Delilah had a secret twin sister who died at birth.
Wow.
And perhaps this Black Panther is that twin's power or spirit now trying to emerge through Delilah because of the stress and the magical marking.
Okay, that adds a whole other layer of complexity to her identity.
It really does. And this shift happens alongside a major psychic event where she and her sisters basically get this information downloaded into their minds. They are daughters of destiny.
Daughters of Destiny. Well, they certainly proved something by getting that seal back and stopping Kyoka.
Definitely. They neutralized a huge threat that could have really opened the door for Shadowwing. But the fact remains, their own power is changing, accelerating super fast. And it's drawing the attention of some very powerful, very old beings, like literally lords of death.
Which brings us right to that final provocative thought, doesn't it? Delilah now has this second dangerous Black Panther identity bubbling up, something that came out in the heat of battle. She's also now marked by the Autumn Lord, binding her future to him, the Lord of Death. So thinking about the potential cost of her survival, how is this unpredictable, maybe dual-natured identity going to change her role in the war to come? And maybe more importantly, who or what is ultimately going to command her loyalty? Is it the Fae Queen she just delivered the seal to? Is it the Autumn Lord who marked her? Or is it this dark, powerful panther self emerging from within?
That's the terrifying cliffhanger the sources leave us on, isn't it? The unpredictable windwalkers have suddenly become maybe the most crucial players on the board. But the price for their power, and maybe their ultimate fate, seems like it's already been negotiated by entities much older and much darker than they are.
A truly high-stakes deep dive into a world where destiny seems to wear a black scythe. Thanks for guiding us through all that complexity.
My pleasure. Always fascinating material.
We'll catch you next time for another deep dive into the material that matters.